We're here with Central Methodist women's basketball head coach James Arnold on the eve of the announcement of the NAIA tournament field. And again, Coach, just talk about the excitement that went through the team today. I mean, you go from being on that nervousness around 4 o'clock when you're trying to find out if you get into that 3-hour stretch of, okay, where are we going to fall into the field? Now you're in that mode where you're already prepping for your first game against Oklahoma City. Just talk about how this day's really gone by for you all.
Well, it's been exciting for the entire school and especially for our program. It's a great step in the right direction for where we're trying to go, and it's a great challenge and opportunity for our ladies, and I think they're excited about it. It has been a day of both apprehension and then relief, and then obviously now preparation. There's a lot of work to be done, and we've got a great group and a great staff that's working late tonight to try to put together as much information as possible to try to plan our workouts and practices accordingly, and schedule and work on all the logistics that go into it. So it's going to be a busy time, and tomorrow morning, we get right back up. The ladies have to add a little bit more to their schedule, a little bit more to their season in order for us to continue. So we get up early in the morning and start practices to try to do what we can in Kentucky.
And let's start to talk about the first part of the day, because the NAIA is really unique because they first announced the tournament qualifiers, then they announced the field, how it's going to be played out. You all had a good showing in the conference tournament, picking up a big win over a ranked opponent. And really going into it based on the ratings, you were one of those teams that were maybe borderline, one of the last few to get in. I mean, you really had a lot of arguments again, especially with the 25-win season, but just talk about the nervousness you all really have going into that.
Well, we felt pretty good after the Benedictine win. I think that was essential for us because they're number 12 in the country. It was on the road. They've got a lot of respect nationally for the season that they're having. That gave us 3 wins against teams in the top 25. That gave us, even with the loss to a mid-am, that was 5 of our 7 losses are to teams in the top 12 in the country or receiving vote team and double overtime. So with Baker. So I thought that we had a great chance as far as our resume goes, but there's no guarantees. And obviously, as you mentioned, we just squeaked in as an at-large. And so with that, you've got to start somewhere as a program. And the berth is big for us. It's our first in school history at the Division I level. It's important for us to get our ladies there and to experience that. But honestly, we're not happy just being there. We have every intention to go down there and compete the best we can on Wednesday against the defending national champs, OKC. And we're slowly gathering as much information as we can. We'll be working late into the night tomorrow to get as much information for practice as we can to try to put our best foot forward. And
really, you talk about the preparation after you find out you're in. Then they have the selection show shortly after 7 o'clock, and really kind of unique. You're able to gather down at McNance and able to get a lot of the players, to get some of the community members out there, and really kind of special how they're able to put that over the internet, so you can kind of have like a feel of what the NCAA tournament selection show is kind of like.
Yeah, I thought that was nice tonight. And Oklahoma City, what would you say, they're on their 17th or 18th consecutive visit? It's a bigger deal to us as far as just getting in and having that selection show experience. Hopefully we're 5, 6, 7 years into this thing, and it's an old hat for us, and we continue to go. But we're going to embrace the excitement of it, especially tonight. But after the great get together we had down at Main Street, and now it's time to go to work. And we talked to the ladies about one of the reasons we're getting up and going at 6 a.m. in the morning is that the journey to Kentucky begins tomorrow. And as a staff, we've just got a lot to do. The players have a lot to do this time of year, not so much as reinventing the wheel as far as what we're doing in practice, but with making sure we're getting healthy. We're doing a lot of quality control with what it is we do, maybe throwing some wrinkles in, and beginning to work on defending some really, really, really good-sized post players and a really talented Oklahoma City squad.
And again, being one of the last teams announced, I know like when you talk about those other tournaments, you're kind of on the edge, but I mean, you almost, based on how the tournament unfolded, you knew exactly who you're going to play before it was even on the screen. I mean, that's something that hardly anybody ever gets to experience.
Yeah, after about the second round, I don't know if you remember me saying, I was like, we're staring right down the barrel of Oklahoma City, and so I think there's some things about that are good. Obviously, as one of the other coaches in our league texted me, said you might as well start at the top and move your way down. So we're going to take the opportunity we have. We're going to seize it. We're going to work really hard, and I think we've got a great chance to go down there, and I certainly know that our ladies will represent Central Methodist University, Fayette, and themselves with a great deal of pride and a great deal of class, and give it everything they've got.
I know you haven't really had much of a chance. It's only been a couple hours since the announcement, but from what you've been able to look online about what you've seen out of Oklahoma City, it really seems that they're going to be a pretty tall team. Just tell me what you already know about Oklahoma City.
Well, one, there's a great tradition there, and that's one thing that you cannot change, regardless of whether the coaching changed, which they've had this past year, regardless of the turnover in the roster. There's a ton of great tradition there that is never going to change, regardless of the personnel or the staff. We know that they score a lot of points, that they have 4 kids in double digits, and 3 of those 4 are forwards or centers, so it's going to be a big team. We're slowly gathering information. We've got a lot of phone calls out. We've got some people in that part of the country that have been extremely helpful in helping us get some information. We are fortunate they played a team in our league, Evangel, early this year, so we have that film immediately. And then, of course, we'll get their last playoff game as part of the film exchange for the national tournament. So, we're going to be diving into that. Coach Bergen's busy right now. Coach Young's busy right now. Coach Coley's busy right now. So that's just part of the fun of it. It's part of the excitement as a coach. This is what you live for. You're 5 games away from a national championship. And if you don't believe you can win that, then we have no business being there. You might as well let somebody else go in your spot. So I firmly believe we have a chance to go down there and compete. So we're excited about that.
And I know at this point of the season, you definitely can only look at this one game at a time. But I do think what helps kind of boost your all spirits going into that is if you get a chance, if you do upset Oklahoma City and Columbia College does what they're supposed to do. I mean that renews a little bit of a rivalry there. Last time you played them last year, I think they won by about 50.
Yeah.
And again, it increases the rivalry because Mike Davis was the last coach to take CMU to national tournament. So I do think that it helps to give you some extra motivation to try to get to that second round and see what you could do.
Sure. When Davis was here, they were alone. He did a phenomenal job here at Central Methodist College and then University, and then he moved down to Columbia. He's done an amazing job there with continued winners. And so, obviously it would be great for us, for him, for the area to have that game for the local interest. The biggest thing is, that we need to make sure we go out there for the best 20 minutes we can against Oklahoma City and find a way to get into the locker room at halftime with a chance to come out in the second half for the win. That's the most important thing, those first 20 minutes, and then find a way to get at the 10-minute mark, and then you get at the 5-minute mark to see where you're at. If we're in it with 5 minutes to play, I like our chances as much as anybody. We've got a roster that can be very, very dangerous. If we can get healthy, we can play. We don't have to play a great basketball game, but if we give great effort, have tremendous focus, and come out and play a good basketball game and make some shots, we've got a chance to beat anybody in the brackets.
And again, I know we keep beating this into the ground, but at this point, 2 years ago, before you come in, this team was coming off a 5-25 record, and as you said, didn't even make the conference tournament. Now you're 25-7, making your first Division I national tournament appearance. We could talk about how much this program has really come in 24 months, but as you said, I mean, the journey's not over. I think the main thing is trying to establish yourself as one of those nationally powered teams and trying to get something going, and this is the first step in doing that.
Absolutely. It's the first step in establishing ourselves as a perennial top 25, 30 team in the country. That's what we want to do. I think that last year we took a brilliant step forward of trying to find our way and showing that we can be successful on the women's side here, and now at the Division I level. I think that this year is a great step for us from an experience standpoint. Again, we're going into it with every ambition of winning the basketball game, but certainly playing in this tournament is going to be a step in the right direction without a doubt. Making it to the conference championship game the other night was a great step for us. Our kids got to experience that. We did come up short, but I think we learned a lot for both the staff and as a team, and our personnel that will be returning will benefit greatly from this. There's no question that we want to continue to improve our program. We were very fortunate the previous staff brought in some really quality players that have helped us make our run last year and this year. And then the fact that the coaching staff has worked extremely hard, Coach Henry included, who's no longer with us, to build the roster that we have now. And I think that the group we put together for 2013-14, as far as personnel goes, has a chance to be even more special. So we're excited about the opportunity in Kentucky, and we're excited about the direction of our program.